Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Yep. Hey guys, welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday.
Yeah, welcome back.
I'm the Great and Powerful Mystery.
And I'm Jay.
It sounded like there was an extra bird in the intro today.
Yep.
How odd.
Yep.
We're African bird.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
That was an accident, but it was perfect timing.
Yeah, sure.
Welcome back to Friday.
Oh, gosh.
It's Friday. Isn't this wonderful?
It's Friday.
We all love Fridays.
So this is a listener-submitted animal, the pangolin.
The walking pine cone.
Literally, when you look at them, that's what they're like. Their closest living ancestors they're almost related to true anteaters, but anteaters are kind of a weird group of animals because they're really closely related to sloths.
They do kind of look like sloths too, though, these guys.
Yeah, so these are a lot better. One of, like, instead of like the long-nosed anteaters, like there's golden lace anteaters and tree anteaters and stuff like that, and you look at them, you can much more see a sloth in them instead of like the great anteaters, which are like huge ones with the big bushy tails and
the ones you're used to seeing in any anteater like depiction.
And I'll tell you this right now: 99% of anteaters will body you.
Like Hulk Hogan and to Andre the Giant in WrestleMania 3?
Yeah, because they have gigantic claws, and they'll do this like T pose. And then what they're doing is opening their arms fully, so if you get closer, they can slash.
Jeez.
And they're using these giant claws to open up trees and open up termite mounds to get to ants and insects.
Right, yeah.
So they're not weak.
They're good for gutting you.
Yeah, people look at anteaters and be like, that's a
looks like fun.
Cute little boy. And then
he can't bite me.
You can't bite me, yeah. You know how many times people have said that and then get their arm cut open? You can't bite me.
He'll be able to slash you with his razor blade claws.
But we're talking about a certain anteater, the pangolin.
Pangolin.
These are shy, nocturnal mammals that are completely covered, besides their belly, in plate-like scales. They're often referred to as scaly anteaters is their other name. They inhabit woodlands and savannas of South, Central, Eastern Africa, and Asia. The majority of the populations have never heard of a pangolin, but they are the world's most trafficked animal due to a high demand for their scales and meat.
Ooh, their meat?
Their meat is considered to be a delicacy, while their scales are said to, quote-unquote, cure illnesses in traditional Asian medicines.
Wow.
Now, so these guys are literally like the most trafficked animal in the world.
Are they, are you allowed to have them as pets?
No. They are internationally red listed.
Oh,
because,
they are?
Yeah, because of how much they're trafficked.
Yeah.
There's like whole countries they're extinct from.
Oh, wow.
We'll get into that number of species and stuff like that later, but pangolins are in bad trouble.
It would be cool to breed these guys. They're so unique looking.
There's a couple in captivity here in the States. It's not a fact of that they're hard to keep. It's that they're literally, so many of them are being eaten.
Yeah.
I seen one video of an animal trafficker got caught, literally had probably 600-700 pangolins in bags because they ball up. So these guys have super long prehensile tails.
Yeah.
And they have they're armor plated pretty much all the way except just a little spot on their underbelly. That's where their like nipples and reproductive organs are. Like they're the only spot on them that's open.
Yeah.
But they tighten up into a ball. I've seen tigers screw with them and try to even pull them open.
They can't, can they?
They probably could, but it's so much effort for such a little meal because these guys aren't huge. We'll talk about that in a minute, but they're not. They're small raccoon size with a big tail, so they're not like worth sitting here for an hour and a half trying to figure out how to open for a big old tiger.
Right. Yeah.
But their defense mechanism actually makes them so easy to catch for humans.
Oh yeah, you just walk over and pick them up.
They roll up in a ball.
Yeah.
Like we kind of already talked about, most other anteaters take a defensive pose and they don't go down without a fight. These guys evolved specifically.
Like armadillos. Yeah.
These are much more extreme than even armadillos.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, their gigantic tail wrap layers around them.
It really looks like a plate of armor over their whole body.
And if anybody's ever seen a pangolin baby, they're adorable. And they're always clenched onto their mother's armor somewhere. So you'll see like a big bump. But
it's not a tumor.
Yeah, these guys aren't true like rainforest animals, but they do prefer woodlands, thick brush, and savannas. Depending on which species, African and Asian, there's several species.
I think we could house them here. I think they just need a home here in the backyard.
If somebody gave me a pangolin, it'd probably live in the house.
That'd be sweet.
I
imagine though,
I'd be like, hey, but at least you're not getting your scales pulled off.
If I walked into your house and a pangolin walks around the corner, I'd probably leave.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be like,
it freaked me out.
I'd be like, give him a piece of melon. He loves melon. These guys can live to be 20 years old on average. We don't know a lot about this in the wild because, there's not a lot of them in the wild. These guys can be 5 feet long. But keep in mind, most of that is tail.
Okay.
Almost 2/3 their body length is their tail.
2/3?
Mm-hmm.
It's that long?
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokes. It doesn't look that long.
Some of the smaller species are only like a foot long.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. In entirety.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these guys on the smaller end are 3.5 pounds. The biggest species of pangolin's record is 73 pounds.
Wow.
So big anteaters,
Yeah.
Giant anteaters get, 100, I think 150, 160-ish pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But besides them, most of the family group doesn't break 100 pounds.
Wow.
And that's more because of what they're specialized in eating. Termites and ants.
It's not a big, it's like, well, yeah, but look at blue whales.
Blue whales don't have to crack open a mountain of dirt or a tree to get their food.
Okay.
These guys are, almost always brown or olive in color. Some of the smaller species almost are that olive green color.
Ooh.
When you really clean them off. But, these guys are burrowers and stuff like that, so they're almost always dirty.
Is it kind of like the color of my car?
A little bit, yeah.
It's that weird green.
Yeah, that weird kind of intermediate color.
Okay.
The diet's strictly insects. In captivity, they will eat some of the fruit paste and some of these high protein stuff that we give some reptiles.
And melon.
Melon, yeah. But no, so in the wild, they don't really probably have options for these foods, and their digestive system's not really made for them. They have to have a special curated diet. Mm-hmm. I know in zoos, they almost always are eating purees of mealworms.
Ooh, they're spoiled is what you're saying.
So these guys, pretty much their only predators are humans, lions, tigers, leopards, hyenas, and pythons.
Oh, not bears, though?
There's no bears. Well, the bears that are with them are almost extinct, or pandas.
Oh, yeah, they ain't doing it.
And pandas, not saying a panda can't bite through a pangolin, but let's look at that. We're talking about a very small animal.
Yeah.
And the only predators really listed are giants.
I was going to say the top predators in the area.
And it's because the only thing that really can get through their shells. Mm-hmm. Pythons are a little bit of an exception because they just swallow them whole. They don't really care about getting through the shell.
Okay, yeah.
They'll just digest what they can. But you look at leopards, hyenas, tigers, and lions are these giant, massive predators. And most of the time, they get bored with them. They don't mess with them.
Right, yeah.
I've seen lions messing with pangolins. I've seen a pangolin still walking with the babies on its back as these lions kind of come up to it. And they bat it once, and they all roll up, and they're like, all right, this ain't fun anymore. Leave.
It's almost like a cat with a big ball of yarn or something. Just bats around. Once it falls off the counter,
they're like,
it's done.
Yeah. These guys are really, really slow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's because they're, they're tree climbers, they're diggers and stuff like that. So their claws and the front of their feet are faced inward. So they're kind of walking on the sides of their hands, if you want to think of it like that. So imagine if you're trying to go someplace like this.
Yeah.
And you have these giant long nails.
You're right.
You're not very fast. Their maximum ever recorded. Now, this is blazing speeds.
Oh.
3 miles per hour.
Dang.
And that's when being chased by a snake.
Jeez. That snake can go way faster than that.
Right now, there's about 8 species, we think. And there's still some argument about subspecies and stuff like that.
Different phenotypes or what?
There could be. So there's not a lot known about these guys for some of these really, really rare species. So it's kind of argued whether they're subspecies, like regional variants of the same animal, or if they're truly unique animals.
Do you think this is like an old class of animals that's hanging around? Okay.
Yeah, and we look at sloths too. Sloths are the last of an ancient branch, so are these guys.
So now what if like some of the dinosaurs, like, the big long with the big, what if they actually just were like these and you can't tell from their skeletal structure? It's like, oh, it's just a giant pangolin.
They're all. Thanks for taking my end.
Oh,
there were gigantic pangolins.
Oh no,
giants
from the dinosaur era.
No, after though.
Oh, okay.
These guys are really, like you just said, really old mammals.
Yeah,
and these armored little mammals took over because nothing could eat them.
Right.
But let's get into the number of species. So they're all listed. Every pangolin species is red listed. But under that, there's 2 species that are critically endangered, which is the Chinese pangolin, and the Sudan pangolin. So these are their highest trafficked areas for these animals.
Oh.
So almost all the ones you see being eaten and stuff like that are these two species.
Why are they eating them? Man.
Okay, not to be mean, but China eats everything that's endangered.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I know.
I mean, it's
wet markets.
Yeah, you've seen the wet markets. Literally, I watched a video of one of the wet markets. This guy walking, and it's not like a hidden one. It's like the black market, and I was like, "That's endangered. That's endangered. That's endangered. That's extinct." Where'd they find that? Two species of just endangered: the Indian pangolin and the Philippine pangolin.
Oh.
And right now, I think the Philippines going to actually get moved up, because the Chinese ones are getting so hard to find that they've kind of moved out of China to keep hunting pangolins.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then extremely vulnerable is the giant pangolin, the white-belled pangolin, the Termix ground pangolin, and the long-tailed pangolin. It's not really long, that 2/3 of the body one I was talking about, that's these guys.
Okay. There's a lot of pangolins.
There's a total of 8 living species of pangolin. They're pretty much, it depends on which species you're talking about. They either almost completely live their lives in trees, or completely live their lives in burrows and like these giant underground dwellings, like living in termite mounds.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the ones in Africa trying to never leave their termite mound.
Oh, wow. Okay. I need to get one of these, give Tiki a friend to live with. Imagine that.
That'd be kind of fun.
That would be sweet.
So the smallest species is the long-tailed pangolin. These guys struggle to get more than 1.5 feet long.
Okay. The long tails?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's 2/3 their body.
Dang, that's awesome.
The largest group is giant pangolins. These guys are true titans.
Are these the 5-footers?
Yeah. 5-footers and almost 80 pounds.
Dang.
Which may not sound like a lot, but imagine, it's like the size of a German Shepherd.
Yeah. Oh, no. I would not want to come across one of these.
They're still being eaten.
Oh.
Pangolins are all insectivores, which means they only eat insects. Their diet mainly consists of ants and termites. In captivity, and these guys have extremely long, sticky tongues like anteaters. They actually can't open and close their jaws anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so all anteaters kind of have this weirdly shaped jaw.
Yeah.
There's a couple species like pseudo anteaters that can still like chew stuff. So that's one of the reasons they don't eat stuff in the wild, like fruits. They don't. They have a tiny little mouth.
Can't really
and
get them.
just like shove in their head. But in captivity, they can enjoy like these paste and purees we make for them.
Yeah.
So like melon's a good one because when they put their tongue into it, they can actually break it apart.
Right.
So that's the only why I keep bringing up melon. The only time I've ever seen one in a zoo eaten, it was a big, like a watermelon.
Just feed him some melon. He likes
It's like
it.
shoving its face in it just to get some. All 8 species are red listed,
Yeah.
which means it is illegal to have them anywhere in the world.
Man.
Long as
Unless you have like a special license or something. Yeah.
and countries can vary on that.
You have access to that, right? You're a biologist.
I probably could have had it a long time ago.
You still can.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're more of a biologist now than you even were before with all the research and stuff you're doing. And
I don't know about that because keep in mind I was doing.
you're a clean one now.
You're muted. You ever call me that again? I'll hit you with this cup. There, you're back.
That's a shout out to Ralph, our bird watching friend.
You ever call me a clean biologist again? I will hit you with the cup. Okay, now you got me laughing. The penguin. Here's my fun facts for you. The penguin is the only known mammal in the world to have hard, overlapping scales that cover their entire body. Penguin's body weight is only made up of 20% of their body weight is made up of these hard scales.
Dang.
So there's when you look at them like a reptile, like having a shell or armor-plated scales, these weigh much, much less.
So like light armor.
Yeah, because they're made of hair.
Yeah.
But they're still very durable.
Is that keratin? Is that or chitin?
No, keratin.
Keratin.
Chitin is not in
Bugs.
mammals.
That's the bug stuff. Yeah. It's a keratin. Yeah.
So my next fact is the scales are made of keratin. No joke.
No.
Number 2, the scales are made of keratin, the same protein which forms human nails, hair, animals' claws, and birds' talons.
Shout out to Mrs. Bowden, our high school biology teacher.
Oh, she's a big inspiration in my life.
Yep. So that's where I learned that.
So when threatened, pangolins roll up, and in my freak fact number 3, they roll up into a ball plated or an armor-plated ball that protects them from most predators. Kind of like, if you ever watched a hedgehog do it,
Yeah.
just a lot better.
Now I kind of want a pangolin bowling ball.
I bet you they could find one that looks like one.
I could get it printed on there.
Even big cats struggle to make their way through pangolin armor, is my next fact. we're talking tigers have, bite forces close to 600 to 700 pounds per square inch, and they still can't get through them. The only time they really get them open is if they can catch the end of their tail
and peel it back
and unravel them.
Yeah.
But if you look, that's actually, I'm showing Jay this picture.
Yeah.
That's actually the end of his tail.
Right.
So they specifically tuck the end of their tail into the middle of the ball because of that.
It's like they've done this before.
Here's a weird thing.
Uh-oh.
So according to old Greek philosophers, the pangolin is actually a human.
Ooh.
Because they are fully bipedal.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. They actually walk with their arms. They almost look like they're touching the ground, but they never, 99% of the time, they don't touch the ground.
Oh, really?
So I believe it was, I can't remember which philosopher said it, but a man is a bipedal animal with no feathers.
Interesting.
So a pangolin is a man.
I get it. Oh, sumo wrestlers need to start eating these too. They probably
do.
Yeah.
The penguins are thought to be prehistoric and have been estimated to live on Earth for
12,000 years.
80 million. So keep in mind, the end of the dinosaurs was 65 million years ago.
Oh, so they were walking with dinosaurs.
Yes.
Wow.
There was no true giant pangolins back then, but these guys evolved very early as far as mammals are concerned and kind of stuck it out.
Wow.
They were very tough even for dinosaurs to mess with.
Yeah. Save the pangolins.
Mm-hmm. So if we have pangolin fossils in the same beds we have like T-Rex and stuff like that.
Dang.
And they were fine.
Yeah.
And you just imagine just seeing these big dinosaurs like thinking about eating this thing and they're like, that's not going to go down good.
Yeah, I know. Gnaw on it a couple times and spit it out. I don't want this.
The pangolin's tongue can be as long as his entire body.
Whoa. Okay, that's pretty freaky. That's a freaky fauna fact.
And that's due to how they hunt. They're pretty much just using his tongue to pull insects out of holes and stuff like that. Pangolins have no teeth is my next one.
Oh, wow.
Most anteaters don't have any teeth. There's very few exceptions to this rule, but they're actually, and I think almost all of them have fused jaws too. They're very hyper evolved for one specific thing.
Right, for their niche.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what the word pangolin means?
Armor-plated raccoon.
You're close. It is about their biology. It means something that rolls up.
Ah, okay.
They can. Oh, so okay. Here's my next one for you. They can emit a non-toxic smelling chemical similar to skunks.
Ew. Okay.
It reeks. It's non-toxic though. So skunks is like theirs is like will make you throw up and stuff like that if you ingest it.
Oh, I didn't.
These guys are pretty much harmless, but it just still stinks.
It's like a fart bomb.
Mm-hmm. This is not. China's eating a lot of these things for how unappetizing they are.
Yeah. Nothing about them sounds like I'd want to cut it up and eat it.
So not all these guys have prehensile tails, but some of the smaller species do, and they can hang from them. So we kind of talked about possums last week and how they can, but they really don't do that. It's more of an arm to help them climb and stuff like that.
Yeah.
These guys do.
Oh, wow.
They don't do it for pleasure, but they're kind of bad at climbing sometimes. So they have this big anchoring tail to make sure if they slip and fall, they can get back up.
Hanging on with, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they like long-tailed pangolins and stuff like that. Pangolins swallow small stones to help with digestion.
Like chickens.
Like birds.
Huh.
And it probably comes from they're friggin' ancient.
Well, yeah. It's an old thing.
They could also constrict their ears and nostrils while feeding to keep insects out.
Makes sense.
So these guys will literally and you'll see giant anteaters do this too. They can close their ears and their eyes.
Pin everything
and
back.
They'll open up the termite mounds and just stick their faces in them and let the termites and ants attack them.
Oh, well, if it's effective.
How many insects a year do you think a pangolin eats?
1 billion.
Not a bad guess. 70 million on average.
Okay.
But they have to eat 200,000 insects a day to stay alive.
Oh my gosh.
Penguins have small eyes, poor vision, and rely heavily on their sense of smell and hearing.
I'd hope so, yeah.
I've seen pangolins walk right up to like I told you that one that didn't care about the lions with the baby on his back.
Yeah.
And just kept walking because he didn't know it was there. Pangolins' babies ride on their mom's back while climbing their scales, so they actually hook onto either her tail or her scales.
That's pretty awesome.
They can have over 1,000 scales.
Man.
Now, do you want a sad fact?
I guess. Yeah.
A pangolin is taken from the wild every 5 minutes.
Wow, that is pretty sad. So when you said it's the most trafficked animal.
So it is the same rate that a human dies here in the U.S.
Dang, okay.
There's
a lot more of us.
A human dies every 5 minutes. A pangolin gets taken from the wild, which is certain death.
Yeah.
Every 5 minutes.
Pretty much, yeah. Dang, that is sad. We need to save the pangolins.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, let's start a movement. Save the pangolins.
You're not going to believe this. How much money a year do you think the pangolin trade makes?
$1 billion. No.
1 billion?
Yeah.
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
19 billion.
What? No, stop.
No, I'm not joking.
How is that possible? 19 billion?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
You're on crack cocaine.
So when these guys are taken from the wild, most of the time the guy that actually poaches them gets between $1,500 and $1,200 per pangolin.
Okay.
When they're sold, they can be up to, depending on how many scales and stuff they have, their scales can be $2,000 per kilogram.
Oh my gosh.
So the giant pangolins, and like there's a lot of money in pangolins.
So my pangolin suit of armor is probably not going to happen.
No.
I don't think I can afford it.
No.
Oh my gosh.
75% of Chinese residents believe pangolin products have mystic powers.
Well, there you go. That makes a lot of sense of why they're all being stolen.
Now, these guys are pretty difficult to have in captivity, and we're not really sure why. Over 70% of pangolins die within their first year of captivity.
Ooh.
There are some zoos that have success and stuff like that.
They're just not meant to be caged up.
No. But here's my last fact, and it's sad. I said there's some sad ones with the pangolin. The penguin's having some troubles.
Yeah.
All 8 species will likely be extinct within 40 years.
Oh, wow.
6 of the 8 species will likely be extinct within 20 years.
Oh, jeez.
And 4 of them will likely be extinct in 10 years.
Save the pangolins.
They're very much on the verge, and it's 99%. There's some habitat destruction, don't get me wrong, and some food source problems. It's almost all poaching.
Yeah.
These guys, and we love elephants, and I'm not saying don't protect elephants. I'm saying that these big animals get a lot of the protection when you look at animals like this that are much more closer to the brink of extinction.
Right. They're literally like a small breeze from being blown off the edge of the cliff.
These guys, keep in mind, survived the mass extinction that took out the dinosaurs.
Dang.
And they're about to get wiped out because people are eating them and believe their scales cure cancer. They don't, because the people that eat them still get cancer and die.
Oh, yeah. I guess so.
Yeah.
Man, let's save the pangolins. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Save the pangolins. They're just not in zoos. These guys.
When's Pangolin Awareness Month? When is that?
Right now.
Oh, it is.
I'm making
October.
it.
October is officially, according to Freaky Fauna Friday, we are christening the month of October as Pangolin Awareness Month. Go outside and bang your pots and pans and shout to the world, save the pangolin.
There are some groups that can help with this. There's the African Penguin Working Group, which does a lot of protect the African species of pangolins.
The APWG?
APWG, yeah.
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, I got the brochure.
So they actually, you've seen like the black rhino poachers, like the guards with like.
Oh, yeah.
So these guys do the same thing for pangolins.
Sweet.
The Save of Pangolins is another group. It's a nonprofit project working with some of the Asian species. And of course, the IUCN, which is the red listing group, is working on saving these guys. Pangolin Conservation is another nonprofit that's working on saving these guys. And the last one I have for you is Carnivore in Pangolin Conservation Programs. Is a group that's working on saving these guys. All these groups are trying to work on saving these animals because they're so close to the brink of extinction.
Right.
There's so much money in them. And here's my thing is we blame a lot of these first degree poachers. And it's not entirely fair to do that. Because most of these people that are poaching these animals are living on less than, 50 cents a day.
Right, yeah.
And this animal they can sell for $2,500.
Rich overnight.
That's not even a joke. It really is, So it's the system.
Oh, I get it, yeah.
I'm never going to blame
activity.
a person for feeding their family.
Right.
And I get it. I'm always an animal lover. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But if your family is starving and this animal is more than you make in a year,
Yeah.
and it's this easy to catch, you're not talking about fighting a hippo. You're talking about going out in the bush
And just picking up
and picking up one of these and taking
a ball
them. Yeah.
of scales.
And it's more money than you make in a year.
Yeah. Why not? It's tempting.
You can't, you're going to save your family.
Right, yeah.
So it's about the system. And that's what a lot of these groups are working on, is just cutting off the food trade system. People are eating these things.
It's insane.
Nothing about them is appetizing.
No, not at all.
So I'm not saying donate to any group. I don't care what you do as people out there. I'm just saying there are conservation groups that are working towards saving these guys.
And we're just putting it in the public conscience to save the pangolin.
Yeah, do what you can. There's also, I can't remember the name of the group, but you can adopt a pangolin and stuff like that, which is, like, I think when I was a kid, we adopted a blue whale, which basically it's this teddy bear company.
Right.
That'll send you a stuffed animal version of the animal you're saving.
Right.
And they give the money to whatever organization is under that animal's name.
No, it goes right into the blue whale's bank account.
Yes. Now, blue whale versus the Japanese whaling fleet.
Yeah.
All right. I've been the great and powerful mystery.
And I've been Jay.
Give him some words of positivity in the weekend.
Just, we're always hard on ourselves and from time to time. So, you can be your own worst critic at times. So this weekend, treat yourself and praise yourself and give some gratitude back out to the earth and to the human beings around you. And not everything's as bad as it seems. So look for the positive in the little things that you interact with in the world today. And just remember to look at your neighbor and give him a big smile.
A big old smile. All right, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.